Hi, friends. It's your pal Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about American politics and specifically Zohran Mamdani. All right. So I'll give a quick description of what he is. So he is the front runner for the mayor of New York City, and he's beating out Andrew Cuomo, and he's beating out everybody, and his numbers are way high, way high. Okay, and so like most people think he's like a lock, right, to win. Now, what's interesting about him? Well, there is something very interesting about him. He is a radical socialist, right? And okay, and so basically, and what he has become is he's like the whole country is like, hey man, Trump won, and we're living in a Republican paradise, right? Like a paradise for Republicans. If you're rich, you're getting richer, right? If you're poor, I think some trickle down is very much happening. I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, trickle down doesn't work." I think we're finding out that Ronald Reagan was right. Trickle down definitely works. Um, and overall, I think the economy is better, right? Like a lot of people debate that, and but the reality is, and definitely, and I have to say, my own life, we're in a better position, right? Like we're just in a better space, right? Which is pretty fascinating, and I'm in a better space than I was previously. I'm definitely doing better than I was under Biden. I feel safer. I feel like the economy is better. Like I have more ability to buy and less ability, like, and I'm less terrified that the world is going to crack in half and World War III is going to erupt at any moment. Everything I voted for is happening, right? But if you're a Democrat, man, you're in trouble. And they're like, hey, what about our Democrat principles? Well, Zohran Mamdani embodies every Democrat principle because he is a radical socialist, which is really fascinating because where we land is we realize, oh my gosh, Democrats are just simply radical socialists, right? So the reason we're talking today is I watched an excellent video called Stick Talks, right? And there's a little stick man, and it might be Stickman Talks, and he did a breakdown, a 20-minute discussion of Zohran Mamdani and why he's important. So here's why he's important. So first of all, he is a radical socialist. It's free food, free transportation, free housing, free college, free everything. Wait a second, Zohran, how are you going to pay for that? The rich. We'll tax them to the hilt. Eat the rich. The rich suck. We can tax them as much as we want. This is New York. They're not going to go anywhere, right? Like, okay, that's your plan, right? But what was really fascinating, so one, this is a great breakdown of this guy. He did a really good job of describing what he was. Now, what's interesting, though, is these are radical socialist ideas, right? And his point was, right now, the New York people are saying, hey, this is what we want, right? And Stickman Talks did a great job of saying, hey, this is a perfect petri dish for this experiment. New York is the perfect place to do this, right? Because Zohran has radical socialist ideas. If we give him New York and he makes it work if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Like if he can make this work in New York, it could work on a national level. And that's why people are really fascinated by this, right? But also, if he fails, Republicans just are going to be eating good, right? Like they're just going to eat this up with a spoon and say, hey, you had a chance, you got your guy, right? You said everything should be free and it turned into a nightmare, right? And I will say that I think this guy's spot on right. I'm hoping Zohran Mamdani wins. And the reason why is I do think these radical socialist ideas will utterly fail. It will be a perfect demonstration to the world that radical socialism is a terrible, terrible idea in 2025, right? In 2026, right? And it'll be a real-time experiment. Well, you're like, well, wait, who's going to pay for that? New York City is going to pay for it, right? And that's a perfect place to pay for it. That is where Democrats, like, they elected Hillary Clinton, right? Like, if anybody's going to pay for the sins of Democrats, it should be New York City, right? Like, there you go, right? Like, and this would be New York City paying for the sins of Democrats. And what are the sins of Democrats? Believing radical socialism works after you see nation after nation after nation who takes from the wealthy, gives it to the people, and it fails every time. How many times do you need to see this, right? Like, how many times do you need to see that communism doesn't work, right? Like, but the answer is every now and then, right? And the reality is, I don't want to see this happen in America, right, at a national level. I don't even want to see it happen at a state level. But New York City, that's a pretty good place for it to happen, right? And the reason why is, if this does happen, and they literally have to pay for the sins of Democrats, this is the place to do it, right? Like, New York's got a ton of money. They have there's a lot of padding to take the blow, right? Like, this is the place to allow this to happen. So I think it would be good. And I will say right now, I think there's a 5% chance what Zohran Mamdani is saying will work. There is a 5% chance, and it's on him, right? And if him and his people can get through and overcome the obstacles, great. But otherwise, this is a perfect petri dish to show again, radical socialism does not work, right? And it's the perfect place for people to pay for that, right? Like, to literally pay for it, right? New York City is dedicated to radical socialism. This is a perfect experiment location, right? And so I do hope Zohran Mamdani wins, and that this can, and then I think 95% chance he will fail. He will absolutely fail, right? And that will be a blessing to America, because it will say to America, radical socialism absolutely sucks, is completely ineffective, and here's a real-time current example that radical socialism sucks, right? And that none of this is gonna work. So I think that's the perfect place to end this. Like, it's just, this is good. This is gonna be tight as a drum. Oh, one last thing. I'm gonna make a prediction right now. I think Zohran Mamdani will lose. You're like, wait a second, he's winning in the polls like by 20 to 30 or even 40 points over competitors. How could he possibly lose? I think this is Kamala Harris all over again. This is Hillary Clinton all over again. This is a completely dyed-in-the-wool liberal city with a completely dyed-in-the-wool liberal press, and they're not reporting facts. They're reporting what they want to believe, right? They want to believe that radical socialism can win in New York, and I think a ton of people are going to come out, probably for, I don't even think it'll matter who, right? Like, I think anybody's going to be able to beat this guy, right? Like, and I think the support is it's a fairy tale being, it's pixie dust being blown out by the mainstream media in New York City. I think Zohran Mamdani will lose, but if he gets in there, I do think this will be helpful to very clearly demonstrate to people that radical socialism fails. Also, another thing this proves is then everybody can shut up about Bernie Sanders, because he's a radical socialist and his stuff would have failed exactly in the same way. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.